Bruce, what's going on? Just trying to stay hydrated in this heat, man. Just trying to stay hydrated in this heat. It's hot, man. Yo, it is hot, brother. Another blistering day. Another blistering day. It's too hot. But I only need about 5 minutes, right? Really, to just touch on what I want to touch on. And that's what I'm gonna get to right now, right? Then I'm gonna be in and out like a robbery. All right, y'all see that, right? So, according to my sources, it's a done deal. Top Rank, PBC, ESPN. Say that again. Top Rank, PBC, ESPN, right? But the reason too for this is it's been all smoke and mirrors. It's been all smoke and mirrors with a lot of these influencers, right? These YouTube influencers, right? See, these promotional companies is banking on a lot of these guys, right? Now they have come into the realization that a lot of these guys that it was, going to try to help market, promote the fights, these guys really don't have the audiences that they claim they did. One, that's why the ticket sales, right, are where they at with boxing. Because a lot of these guys, these YouTubers, these fake influencers that they're using or attempting to use on social media to gain traction for fights or events, don't really have the audiences like they claim they do. And now the ticket sales have dwindled to the point where the almighty PBC, who, remember, the PBC was always saying how they put on the biggest events, they have the best fighters. Now, in order for them to even get a network deal or to have a platform to showcase their fights, they have got to work with Top Rank. Who would have figured, man? Who would have figured, man? Right? PBC and Top Rank, especially after all the years when we sat back and we watched Leonard Ellerbe always talk about how Premier Boxing Champions puts on the biggest events and they sell the most tickets. I remember years back, see, I've been doing this for a while, really doing this, not this internet fake, following and fake view shit. I remember when Tank Davis, right, he was on the come up. He had won the title. Tevin Farmer was beating down his doors, wanted to fight him. And they was clowning Tevin, speaking on how Tevin Farmer was he didn't sell. Tank was fighting in arenas and all of this stuff, right? That was Leonard Ellerbe. Like, oh, you don't. They said the same thing about Lomachenko too. That's why Lomachenko could never get the Tank Davis fight, because he was always fighting in like the Hula Theater, smaller venues, right? And they was always saying how Tank and their fighters are fighting in big arenas. Fast forward, now these guys got to work together. But the reason why they got to work together is because the tickets aren't selling. And the reason why the tickets aren't selling is you're dealing with so many fake influencers on social media who themselves probably just started going out to fight. But a lot of these guys, like I said, they're not lit, man. They're frauds, they're scammers, right? They have fake followers, they buy views. So why would people that are buying views, right, or fake influencers have an influence over a consumer market that they don't even really tap into, right? Because the majority of the YouTube boxing community, social media community, right, is based off of people who want to be what? They want to be stars. They want to be quote unquote famous. They want to have the clout. They're not helping to sell no tickets. But I think the game is understanding this too now. Because if you pay attention, the promoters now are going to the celebrities. You know, the basketball players, the entertainers. They're using these people now. And that's still not helping the ticket sell because, truth be told, they probably doing the same thing, but they just have a bigger machine behind them pushing their illusion. But how is the content looking now, man? That's why I didn't want to stay on too long. I just wanted to, you know, dibble and dabble a little bit, man. But yeah, the PBC and Top Rank are forced now to come together in order to stay afloat with ESPN, per my sources, right? Major announcement should be coming real soon, right? Because I think the Top Rank deal is closing out next month, right? I think next month's last Hula Theater fight card, right, with Xander and Shushu Carrington at the Hula Theater. That might be the last official exclusive Top Rank ESPN. Because if you pay attention, this past Top Rank ESPN card, it was kind of all brandish, and it really did like Rick Glacier more than a club show, but it was a well promoted show. Shout out to Rising Star Promotions, Storm Flake, and all those guys, you know. Top Rank. But it wasn't like what you're used to seeing, right? You didn't see Tim Bradley, you didn't see Mark Cleveland, no, you didn't see those guys, right? Could be a sign of the time. Could be a sign of the time, man. But how is the content looking now, man? So yeah, that's gonna be the major announcement real soon, man. Rank PBC together, man, on ESPN. Hey, what do I know, man? What do I know? I know it's hot out here, man. And shout out to my commenter that said get coconut water. I rock with the coconut water, brother. This is coconut water right here. Coconut water, he was spot on. Hot days, this is the best for rehydration. The best. But yeah, once again, man, you know, these fake influencers, man, you know, these fake wannabe celebrities brought the ticket sales down, man. And I personally know this because, look, I sell tickets, man. That's why, look, I don't really associate with a lot of these guys, man. Because I know a lot of them are felonious capers. They're not, look, they spend their money on the illusion. They're not spending their money really on boxing, right? And that's the audience that they cater to. An illusion audience, right? I had tickets, right? and I don't even put these people on blast because they're not even relevant no more, right? But every time a fight will come around, I'll sell my tickets, right? I have tickets, I'll sell the tickets, right? Yeah, every time, yo, I'm gonna get a ticket. Niggas never bought no tickets, man. Never bought no tickets. That's the YouTube boxing community. These niggas always talking boxing, but when it's time to put your money where your mouth is and go to a fight or pull up to a fight, you're not there. You're not there, man. You know why? Because, like I said, you're part of that community. Yo, we could just sit around, talk boxing. We'll sit around. We'll do a fight party. Nah, it is what it is. But, yo, in a way, it's kind of a blessing in disguise now, though. Because, look, and I know they really don't want to do it, but they had to. The PBC is going to have to do a lot of fights with Top Rank. And if you know their record, right, when Top Rank fighters fight those guys over there, those guys get washed, man. They get mollywopped, man. And it's going to expose the fact that, you know, the PBC matchmaking is rather soft, man. It's rather soft. So I'm just looking forward to it, man, as a true consumer, as somebody that really does buy tickets, sell tickets, go to fights, develop fighters, do things. I'm looking forward to it because for a long time, I stood on my square and I was always saying that, like, yo, it's a lot of fluff over there, man. A lot of smoke and mirrors. Now the smoke and mirrors is going to be getting exposed. But hey, what do I know? Yeah, I'll be back on later. Boxing though, listen, free boxing dude. When I go live in the boxing gym, right? I don't have a coach in front of my name, none of that, but I be in the gyms, right? If you are a fan of boxing, riddle me this, right? You sit around, you watch a guy like this, that's why I threw the green screen up there, right? You love to watch people that talk boxing in front of green screens and all this other shit. Why don't you like to actually be or see what goes on in the boxing gym? And shout out to the channels that do. Be in the trenches, be at the gym, giving the real consumers that look, right? Because those are the ones that are actually going to buy tickets. The people that actually watch that type of content, you could probably sell tickets to them. But the ones that are just sitting around watching content creators in front of green screens, or content creators that are like, gotta say, it's scammers, y'all not really gonna buy no tickets, man. Y'all are into the shenanigans, like what Bill Haney does, and the guys he hires. That's what y'all are into, man. But it's cool, I get it, man. It's all entertainment, man. It's all entertainment. And shout out to Bill, right? And shout out to the Normans. I'm glad they're switching it up, man, because it's like, to me, the whole Brian Norman boot shit was getting tired, man. Now, at least, you know, him and Devin Haney could possibly fight, man. They could possibly fight. they could possibly fight. I'm gonna move this pile, man. That's what I'm gonna do. This pile is fucking high. Do I really want to get in this heavy ass loader and this hot ass loader? I might have to. You gotta see this pile, y'all. I might have to. This shit needs to be moved, man. They really need to get somebody over here and get this shit out the way. Look at the pile, man. Yeah, I gotta move that shit. I'm gonna hook it up real quick. I can't even dump. Man. Hook that motherfucker up real quick, yo. It's hot as fish grease, brother. It's hot and so hot in here. Now I'm about to really bake. You see the pile? Pile needs to be condensed, man. We can't really dump. Yeah, we cannot really dump, man. It's hot, man. That boy was hot, man. Look. But did I finesse 2-time it or what, man? Pay attention. See? Now we got somewhere to jump. It's about 2 truckloads right here though, maybe 3. But now at least we got somewhere to jump. See how I had to clear out the space? Source experience, man. But hey, what do I know? You know, you do have options. Never been a fake influencer. Don't rock with those types. I don't, yo look. Don't rock with those types.